What happens when a guy tries to rob a house with a Sharpie for a mask and then a woman disappears from our kitchen in broad daylight?
Dun dun dun. This is our first official episode, and we're kicking it off with both chaos and a cold case. Welcome to Sip, Spill, and Solve.
Yes, we're two girlfriends, one bottle, and zero qualifications.
Exactly. Tonight we're drinking a Merlot blend because the cases we're about to dive into are full of secrets and shadows, just like this wine and stupidity.
Yeah,
wine is stupid, but and stupidity.
That's us. No,
because our criminals might just be some of the dumbest we've ever seen.
Yes.
So anyway, we're going to tell you what to sip each week in advance.
Yes.
So if you want to cork with us, follow us on Instagram or check the show notes.
Definitely. And today we are drinking from Bethlehem Vineyard in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, because we are from Pennsylvania. Yeah. So we're going to, we just want to support a lot of vineyards around here. Exactly. And this one is called Redhead.
Redhead. And the cool thing about on the back of the bottle, see, I go by labels.
Yes.
Like I'm a label shopper.
Yeah.
So if it's a cute label, I'll probably buy it. It can be like $2. And I'm like, oh, there's a label so cute. I have to have it. So anyway, so this one was a cute label.
It is.
And it says on the back, raise your glass to the rare, the beautiful, the bold, the curious redhead. So I think we may not be redheads. Well, I've been a redhead occasionally.
Yeah. And I have too. And
yeah. But I do believe that we are the beautiful, the bold, and the curious. So it kind of suits.
And the vineyard is Franklin Hill Vineyards in, again, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Right. Exactly. So, and this, I wrote this down here. I can tell you what the actual description is of this wine. So it says if creme brulee was a drink, this is what it would taste like. And it is a Merlot Chambourcin vanilla oak with using dry grapes. So I have to say that when we open this bottle, like normally I don't normally just smell wine.
No.
But this one was effusive. Like it came out pouring out.
Yes.
What did you think of that?
It was very strong when I pulled it. I opened it up and it's not even a cork. So,
Right. Oh, it's a twist off.
If it twists off.
Yeah.
No judgment. But I could smell the vanilla. The vanilla was strong. It's a good wine. I prefer on the sweeter side from my years of Boone's Farm.
Yeah.
But it's a good wine.
It has, I don't know. It for me, like if I have too much of a smell before I taste, it just is kind of off-putting. But once I had it, once I started to drink it, then I was like, oh, this is good. I kind of like it. So I'm not exactly sure what they use in their process, but I feel like it's almost more of a dessert wine.
Yes.
Even though that's not how they advertise it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's my 2 cents.
I agree. Yeah.
We're not wine connoisseurs and we're not pretending to be wine connoisseurs. Maybe someday we will be elevated to that.
Maybe. But we just want to, go pick it up, and we're supporting
local wineries.
Yeah.
They have other blends and other wines. And so we will put their address on our bio and all those other fun things.
Yeah.
So that if you want to try it, you can.
Yeah.
But hopefully with our next episode, even we'll have ahead of time, out and that you can actually grab the wine and try it with us and let us know what you think. Hopefully maybe we did that.
Yeah.
By the time this is out, maybe we had the forethought to go back and do that. And maybe we're trying it now and you can say, okay, girls, yes, you already did that. So anyway, so segment 1 is called Wine, and What the Hell?
What the hell?
And this is the Sharpie.
Yeah. My
so let's start. Go ahead, Jean.
Okay. This one is with the guys. This is stupid criminals.
Yes.
I just they were missing, I don't know, something, but
they had of their DNA genetic genes, maybe, is what they were missing,
or they had too much to drink.
Yeah.
It's 2 guys who decided they're from Iowa and they decided to rob an apartment, and they didn't have any mask or anything like that. So they wanted to draw on their faces with permanent marker.
So what you're saying is they drew their masks on, like Lone Ranger type of thing.
Yes. Someone, and you can go and look, one even did like a raccoon
Oh,
eyes. Yeah.
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 I
So
think they did it themselves, or do you think that they like did it to each other?
I don't know because the drawing was not very good.
It's not, and you can look online, and maybe we'll even post it
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it is just
it would be good.
it's too funny. It's just like, and I have one word for you about why this happened, and
What?
is the word of the day is man.
Yes. Okay. That's all you need to say.
Say, because if we had done it as women,
No.
even if we didn't have anything available, if you didn't have anything available, we said, okay, we're going to stop and
Yeah.
rob this place, whatever.
Yeah.
And we need a disguise. Like, what's the worst case scenario that we would have done? I mean, do you know what I mean? What would you have done?
I definitely wouldn't have used a permanent marker. Right away, that would have stopped me.
Well, yeah, because you can't, there's no like putting foundations.
No, no. And I still don't understand why they couldn't have gone. Walmart is on every corner,
Yeah.
usually. So couldn't they have gone to a Walmart and picked up a ski mask?
I would have thought. Yeah, I would have thought. Because I mean, even like, I don't know, worst case scenario, you'd have something in your car, something you could like tie around your face.
Yeah.
Or like a bandit, like an old time cowboy.
Yeah. Well,
type of thing.
even so, okay, not as a woman, but as a male, they could have taken off their shirt and tied that around their face.
I said no. I say no. Because I think the problem because then it would be like, can you identify this man? It would have been like the beer belly, like the hair and the belly button or whatever, and it would have been like, oh yeah, that's my husband Joey. That's Joey right there. I recognize that navel anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
it would. In neither situation is going to be work out in a good way.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or, someone could identify him in a lineup if they didn't have a shirt. It sounds to me like it's probably not the most attractive.
I'm saying no. You go online, you can see their names. We have their names. They're Matthew McNally and Joey Miller.
Yes.
Now, this was in 2009, so they're probably back in the streets now.
Yeah.
So don't ever tell them where we live.
Yeah. Oh, no.
But yeah, I just don't.
But do you think they drew each other's?
That's what I was asking you.
Yeah.
Do you think that they said? He said, "Give me raccoon eyes," and the other was like, "I'll just take a scribble." Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or did they even talk about it before they drew?
Well, yeah, they're guys. They don't talk about stuff ahead of time.
They don't talk about. Yeah,
they don't.
And I wonder what the police would have said when the police pulled them over.
I think they said something like, "Yeah, we don't even need a lineup."
Okay, yeah,
I think that was what it was. You don't even need a lineup. You can't make this stuff up. It's crazy. But I think that one brain cell between them and it was smudged.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to go with. So I don't know. So as far as with dumb criminals, like those cases, we know that we could have done better.
Yeah,
because those are just stupid.
Oh well, yeah.
Like if I was going to rob a place, all right. First of all, there's it's scary because there's so much forensic stuff.
Oh,
if you can't leave anything behind, you can't have your cell phone on. You have to wear gloves. It has to be a well thought out plan.
Yeah. Even just to rob a store,
because they have cameras, and all those things, and so people would recognize me immediately by my posture and all that stuff. I just think it's almost it's too much of a risk for what the benefit is.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I just And what was in the apartment that was or the house that was so valuable that.
I don't even know. Because so if somebody would break into my apartment, they would be extremely disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I have a huge TV and it's not really worth anything. And they couldn't take it without being seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no
cameras are all over.
I have costume jewelry, so have at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing there. No money stashed away.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. So they'd be extremely disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wonder if they had cased the
joint. Have they cased the joint?
Case the joint. Isn't that what they used to?
They used to say they cased the joint. That must have. Yeah. There's so much unknown in this case.
Yeah.
But the known about it is just dumb.
Yeah. Like no Sharpie. I would have definitely gone to Walmart.
Well, at least get a non-permanent Sharpie.
Yeah. A non-permanent Sharpie.
Because come on, their mug shots are
I would have probably got one of those Halloween masks,
Oh, yeah.
that we wore in the 70s. See, that's how.
But it had to have been you had to be in season.
Oh, that's true.
What if they robbed the place in June? There
Oh,
was no
that's true. If
Halloween.
there weren't any
No.
Halloween masks. Yeah. But
Um,
surely there was something besides the Sharpie.
Just they could have done. So
Yeah.
anyway, we're gonna just chalk that one up to just dumb criminals.
Yes.
So anyway, so let's move on.
Yes.
So I don't know, but I just respect. You have to respect their DIY energy.
Oh my gosh.
Do it yourself energy. All right, like no, it's
Yeah.
not a good DIY.
Yes.
So anyway, so that was your weekly dose of what the
Don't-
hell were they thinking?
Yeah, what the hell? Wine, and what the hell?
Right.
That's it.
Exactly. That was just so you know that what to expect in that segment. Next segment is called Uncorked Mysteries. I'm sorry, I forgot because we were talking also about having tipsy talks, and I think we may be going into tipsy talks and not even know that we're into tipsy talks.
And that happens to us
until it's too late. So now, we're into the Uncorked Mysteries. So with Uncorked Mysteries, now we're going to get serious.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay. So this was a case back in 1961, and it was Joan, and I'm not sure of her last name, Risch, Joan Risch. There were some questionable things that happened, and we're going to go into that. We're going to outline it to you. She was a mother that, of course, stayed at home because in 1961, a lot of women did that. A lot of women, just stayed at home with the kids and
cooked dinner, smoked cigarettes, had martinis, and
play bridge. But some questionable things were left in her house, and then she just vanished, and she's yet to be found.
Right. She was 31.
Yeah, young, happily married.
She had kids.
Yes.
No, two kids.
Two, a boy.
I've heard both. I've heard both things, and that's kind of weird about this whole story in a way because you hear so many varying facts about her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And for this, 1961, this way before DNA, before DNA. The investigation was good, but I'm sure it's not, they don't have the information that they have now. The interviews were good. I guess they did do polygraphs, but those were questionable back then. They weren't very.
They didn't have a lot of people to polygraph.
Right.
So, but
she lived in Massachusetts, right?
She lived in Lincoln, Massachusetts. Yeah. She lived a quiet suburban life with her husband Martin and two kids. I think it was Lillian and David.
Yeah.
And so on October 24th of 1961, she took her son David to a dental appointment. She came home, put him down for a nap, and her daughter Lillian is playing across the street with her the neighbor lady's kids. Her name is Barbara. So it was like a normal day. Yeah. So until it wasn't.
Yeah. And then later that afternoon, her daughter walked back home after playing, and she only to find Joan gone. And the kitchen was a total chaos. Blood smeared on the walls, a table knocked over, and a bloody phone receiver. But her mom was nowhere.
Right.
Nowhere.
Right. And the baby was upstairs in the crib crying.
Yes.
And so Barbara had brought Lillian back over because she was going to go for groceries or something like that. I understand.
The neighbor.
And so she brought Lillian back over home and, watched her walk in, and she saw that Joan's car was still in the driveway. So she had no reason to be any suspicious in any way. And so then when she came back from the grocery store, then I think it was even a half hour after that, if I'm not mistaken, that Lillian came over to her.
Yes.
And there's different accounts of what she said, like mommy was red, or weird things. There's a lot of different
paint. She's used the term paint.
Yeah. Red paint. Poor thing.
Oh my God.
And then the baby's crying and he's drenched because he has been, in his crib for who knows how long. And I think it was before Lillian came home. It's like around 2:15. A neighbor saw Joan outside, and then nothing after that. So, but her purse was still there, her keys, but her coat is missing.
Yeah, her coat's missing. There were some people they interviewed that said a suspicious car, was found in the neighborhood like a few days before, or something like that, or was it that day?
I think they had seen that car in the driveway several times throughout the past few weeks.
Okay.
And so, it wasn't suspicious necessarily because they didn't know that there was anything bad going to happen. But now, like in retrospect, it's just like, oh, yes, this Chrysler was there in the driveway and whatever, so.
They weren't sure who. Oh, and the husband has been cleared.
Yeah.
He really is. He was actually I mean, for as far as he can tell, a very happy marriage. He was in New York, or wasn't he, or on his way?
Yeah, she had taken him to the airport like 2 hours before or something like that. So she had dropped him off at the airport. And so, my first thought then was, well, what if he didn't get on the plane?
Yeah.
What if he came back and he killed his wife and this, that, and the other thing?
But
he passed a polygraph.
Yeah.
And he was like devastated.
Yes.
And then he never remarried.
No.
That type of thing. So, and he took good care of the kids.
Yeah.
What did I say? So I'm going to walk you through the time. I'll walk you quickly through the timeline that I have. Now, there's so many different various, accounts of this story, which is what makes it kind of crazy. Right. But this is the account that I have been able to come up with. Okay. So here we go. Let me just get here so I can bring up the thing. Yep. Okay. So what happened here is in the morning around 8 to 9, Joan takes her 2-year-old son, David, to a dental appointment. And then returns home. It's to 186 Old Bedford Road in Lincoln, Massachusetts. Okay. And the neighbor, Barbara Barker, seen Joan back around 10 a.m. Okay. So this wasn't a chaotic morning or anything like that. No drama, just errands and regular mom life. And so then midday, like between 12 and 1, Joan puts David down for a nap in his crib. And 4-year-old Lillian is playing across the street, like we said, at the Barker home. One child is asleep. One child is safely with a neighbor. And Joan has a rare moment alone. Okay. So who knows what she did? Nobody will know. Nobody. Anyway, so in early afternoon around 2:15, Barbara Barker sees Joan in the driveway, possibly calling Lillian back home. So when she saw her in the driveway, she was in a trench coat. Okay. And that's a last confirmed sighting of Joan Risch. So no signs of panic, nothing like that.
Kind of normal.
Which is weird because if she would have really been calling Lillian, I would have thought that Barbara would have heard that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's Barbara. Maybe Barbara did it. Nobody has ever suspected that.
Oh, wow.
That went.
I never thought that. I never thought.
I know. We think she's the nice neighbor across the street.
Yeah. That just was the one that discovered, see?
I'm adding another new section.
Yeah. That's a surprise.
Okay. So anyway, they said there was no screams, although from the one book I read, I think it's called A Painted Kitchen, something like that. I should have this written down so I can tell you what it is, but we'll put in the show notes. It was a book that a gentleman had done extensive research about this. So he has some other facts that some other people do not have. But anyway, so she was seen in this trench coat. And then nothing. And then around 3:15 to 3:30, Barbara walks Lillian across the street. Barbara goes to the grocery store, so Lillian's in there by herself. Okay. David's crying in his crib, blood found in the kitchen, on the floor walls, and phone receiver. Furniture's overturned. I think it was just one little table that was overturned, and then there was blood on the floor.
Yes.
A lot of blood on the floor.
A good bit.
And then there was the trash can, was sitting in the middle of the floor, which is weird.
Odd.
With the phone receiver just perched on it.
Yeah.
Like it was put on there on purpose.
Very odd.
And then like beer cans.
Yeah, which the husband said they do not drink beer.
Right.
Drank wine or drink.
Right, but they don't drink Miller High Life.
Yeah. And there were several cans. And
so that's suspicious.
Yeah. That's
woohoo. And then let's see. And then there was a lot of blood, multiple blood pools. They said. And then I had read through this book that there was also blood, like a couple, just like maybe a drop or two in David's room and in the master bedroom.
Oh yeah,
which is weird. So it says Joan had like staggered through the kitchen.
Yeah,
like maybe she got hurt, staggered through the kitchen, was trying to make a phone call, accidentally pulled the receiver off.
Right.
I could see how she could have fallen and turned over a table.
Yeah,
I just don't understand the trash can in the center of the room.
Because again, this is way before cell phones.
Yeah.
You had a phone. I'm trying to describe the picture. You had a phone hooked to like either a phone receiver hooked to the actual phone that it was just hanging.
Yeah. Hanging on your wall.
Hanging on your wall or on a table.
Right.
In 1961. Yeah.
So it could have been on a table. They said it might have been a phone table.
See, that could have been. A lot of people had phone.
Right.
Phone table back then. I guess. I don't know.
Anyway, but the coat that was missing is interesting because her trench coat was hung back up in the closet.
Yeah.
And then her top coat was missing. So it's like she purposely and methodically hung up her trench coat, but then grabbed this other coat. So it's almost like she was planning to go somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, that just is weird to me.
And they also are saying that she could have planned this.
Right.
But there's an argument that she would have never left her kids. I
Right.
mean, and then someone did say they saw her walking, not straight, but kind of
Yeah,
staggering
she would look like she was
on the road or
yeah,
something.
not too far from her house, like not very long after she went missing.
Yeah.
But and that there's 3 sightings of her. The one sighting, the first one that's as closest to the house, seems like that's the most credible because it sounds like her. It's the same kind of color coat type of thing. But the other 2 sightings put her one puts her like 6 miles away, like in the middle of a very busy highway on the median strip.
Yeah.
You know, and I would have thought, like, especially back in that day, that people would have stopped or they would have called the police. You know, you don't just see a woman in distress like that.
No, not back then, especially.
I wouldn't have thought so.
I wouldn't have. Now, dun dun dun. Let's add more to the story that we're finding. Go ahead and explain the uncle.
The uncle. Okay,
Ooh.
so
yeah.
So Joan's parents were killed in a fire when she was 8 years old. And then she went to live with her aunt and uncle, like her maternal aunt and uncle.
Okay.
And they had 3 children. And so they took her in, they raised her. And for all intents and purposes, it looked like she had a very happy life. She was well liked in high school. She was like either vice president of her class, something like that.
Yeah.
Like she did well. And then she went to Wilson College in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, which is close to us.
Yes.
And she did well there. And she seemed happy. And she went to work for, I forget where she went to work for. This is terrible. I shouldn't have my facts better than this, but I'm tipsy talking right now. We are tipsy talking. It's like a drunk history. This is like drunk history, but this is tipsy talking.
Yeah.
I'm recounting for you this crime while I have had a whole half a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Because Jean had the other half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We share.
And last you think we done it all at once. Like we've been re-recording and having all these technical issues.
Yes.
So this has gone on a little while.
Yeah.
But anyway, so from what I understand, after she married Martin, she insinuated to him that she had been abused by this uncle.
Yeah.
In some kind of like a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
Like she didn't want to talk about it, that type of thing. And she had confessed that then to a couple other people. And so when the youngest girl of the 3 siblings that she went to, or the cousins that she went to live with, was starting to get into her teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
I guess from what I understand, Joan was concerned about her being abused as well.
Okay.
And so she finally then told her aunt what had happened, and her aunt was appalled. And she and her other brother Peter, I believe it was, tried to convince the wife to leave the and go to California, leave them. Yeah. Okay. So he was like a ne'er-do-well. He was a ne'er-do-well.
Oh, that word.
Yes,
that's a big
word for tipsy talk. Ne'er-do-well. Yes. So he evidently pretty much lived off of his wife.
Okay.
Never really held down a job from what I understand and all that, so he was not happy that his wife had left him. And so that meant he had to go back to work, which he didn't want to have to do, type of thing. And so he was mad at Joan.
Plus losing his reputation, too, possibly. Right. I mean, his wife.
Yeah. All those things. So the speculation is, could he have, done something to her? Now he was technically 4 hours away, but he did not have a good alibi. Number one, the police gave him a polygraph, and on 2 separate occasions, he didn't pass or fail. It was like one of those, I don't know how you can do that, but whatever. And so they did not do a 3rd polygraph, which they should have.
Yes.
I believe.
I think so.
He would not speak about Joan, like all these things. So was the Chrysler his? And he would come and threaten her when her husband was away, and then got to be too much.
Yeah.
And then he did something to her because the trail stopped in the driveway. They did bring in dogs and sniffer dogs and that type of thing, and they could not track her past her driveway.
That's interesting.
So if she ran away on her own, she would have had somebody pick her up.
Yeah.
And the neighbors didn't see anything. And it sounds like it was like a close-knit community that people were out all the time.
Yeah.
And if you were doing something like that, why would you do that in the middle of the day?
Yeah. And if there was that much blood, supposedly there's a lot of blood in the kitchen area and all that, she didn't just stop bleeding, I wouldn't think.
Right.
In the driveway. There would have been some type of...
Now they did find, and this is another theory, a coat hanger on the car.
On the car.
And so one theory is that she had tried, it was a botched abortion.
Oh, yeah.
So back in that day,
yes,
that it wasn't cool to have an abortion. There's
No.
nowhere to go.
You couldn't go.
You had to go like it was illegal. So you had to get somebody who would perform that for you illegally. Yes, she was a good person, but as we know, when all the crime scenes, crime stories that we have watched on Dateline, etc., people who appear to be good people can have these like other lives.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, what if she had a boyfriend?
Yeah, she
got pregnant. She got pregnant. She didn't want Martin to know. So this person that was in the Chrysler was somebody who was going to help her have an abortion. Yeah. And then it just went terribly wrong.
Which it could have. A lot of them happened in those days.
Yes. And the one sighting of her that doesn't really add up says that she was walking and there was blood coming down her legs.
Yeah. So, which that sounds like a botched abortion. Yeah. But then
what happened to her?
Yeah, what happened to her? Or, I mean, don't forget, if she did have a boyfriend, he could have had a significant, he could have had a wife or something that maybe wanted to do away with her. So, I mean,
there's so many. And this is why this has never been solved.
Yeah.
Because there's just too many, like, loose ends.
That's a good way to,
But the other thing I was thinking is, if indeed, like if it went with the scenario, so she had checked out, like they said, like 25 library books in the past 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
That had to do with like somebody disappearing.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman who wrote the book said that he took out those books and he didn't find that they were anything that were super suspicious for her learning, like faking her own death.
Yeah.
Type of a thing. But if she did, just say she did, and she had somebody come and pick her up. Maybe she was scared of her uncle, wanted to keep her kids safe. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
She could still be out there. She would be, how many years? She was born like 1930 or 31.
Yeah.
She would still be, what, 90?
She'd be 90. Or someone may know something about her.
Right. So she could still be alive in that, and we're like, Joan,
just
let us know. Like, your uncle is way dead. He died in the 70s.
Yeah.
But
she could have a whole different life too.
Yes. But her poor kids, like I can't even imagine. I mean, they were little, but still they grew up without a mother.
Yeah.
Although I think they had a very loving father and that type of thing. It's kind of sad.
It is. And just not to know, because definitely her kids are still alive and probably, cousins or whatever, like wondering whatever happened to her. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's our sad story. I don't like to talk about the sad things necessarily,
but this is curious.
It's very curious. If I were going to stage my own disappearance of something like that, leave my kids behind and that type of thing. I don't know. I mean, I think she did a pretty good job.
If she did it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, to have supposedly at least the description of the blood scene, it just seems like a heck of a lot of blood.
It seemed like it, but then I also read that it was only really a pint.
Oh, well, that isn't much.
I thought I'd leave that and give you that zinger at the end.
Yeah.
I know. It was only a pint.
So she could have staged it, and maybe she was having an affair and she left with.
I know. I don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
So we want to know what you think. Like, what do you readers or listeners think? Like, check it out online.
We're going to post the links. YouTube. It's not streaming. It's not a Netflix.
Right.
Not yet. Maybe
it will be.
Yeah.
But it's Joan, and it's Risch.
Yeah.
And we'd like to know your thoughts about it. Like, are we on track? We off track? What do you think?
Really, this was one I don't. There's so many variables. So many questions.
Yeah. I can't come up with 100%
but this is about the first one. I say it's not the husband.
Yeah,
I can't.
Typically, yes. We're gonna spoiler alert. It's usually the husband. We'll try to not do that. If we don't have to.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think is that it for us?
I think that's it.
So stay tuned. We're gonna put out the little teaser for what's coming up next.
Yes.
And it has to do with a dummy. I mean, a real dummy.
Oh yeah.
And a disappearing 9-year-old.
Yes.
So it's going to be kind of one of those things where it's going to be one of those bittersweet ones as well.
Right.
So anyway, and then we'll post what you can buy online.
Or if you give us a good review, we do have tumblers we would like to hand out. So if we get one or more good reviews,
for sure.
If we get more than one good review, we will draw a name.
Yeah.
And we will private message you and send you one of our wine tumblers.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
Yeah, we are. So there's some fun things coming. Just keep listening. Keep posting positive.
Yeah, positive reviews. The more reviews you can get, the sooner that we can quit our day jobs and do this full time
and travel.
Yes. So uncork with us next week and let's sip, spill, and solve.
Yes.
Cheers.